is the fastest game of Valorant that you've ever had? Maybe you demolished the other team in 5 rounds and they surrendered immediately. So what is that, like 6 minutes? But could you do it faster? I wanted to know what the absolute fastest time a match of Valorant could be. You know, aside from everyone on the other team throwing the game immediately, like an actual real match. So today, we're gonna put that to the test. And you're probably wondering, how does one even speedrun Valorant? Which is why you clicked on this video. Thanks for that. SPEEDRUN.com actually has Valorant categorized as an official speedrun game. It has 2 main categories, one being the tutorial and the other one being the parkour course in the range. There's a ton of level speedruns, which is just how fast you can rotate from one site to the other on each map, but like, who cares about that? All of these categories have official rules, moderators, and runs already set. And as interesting as all of that is, we're not going to be doing any of it. Our goal is to try to win a match of Valorant as fast as possible, because losing doesn't count. I can't imagine there are too many speedruns out there where your goal is to get a game over as fast as you can. And if you've played Valorant before, you know that the win condition is typically to win 13 rounds. But that can change if the enemy team decides to surrender before then. So because of that, we broke this speed run into 2 different categories, an any percent run and a 100% run. For any percent, you just gotta win as fast as possible, most likely by forfeit. And the 100% run would be winning all 13 rounds to finish the match. And that ended up being a bit harder than we thought it would, but we'll get to that. First, let's talk about the rules real quick. The timer officially starts as soon as the first round begins. That way it's a solid start time regardless if some players load in late or not. And then the timer ends the moment the game is won and the victory screen pops up. If for some reason that is any moment before winning the 13th round, it's considered an any percent run. And the game mode has to be one where the winning condition is to win 13 rounds. And that's it, that's the rules. Everything else is fair game. So with all of that in place, let's start the runs. The first run was simply just me and a couple of friends in an unrated game with a couple of randoms. It was going to be considered just a warm-up run so that we could get a time up on the board to compete with. However, our teammate disconnected in the first few rounds, so we just surrendered and then pretended it didn't happen. The second game was the real warm-up run. And the very first round, this happened.
It's all there. One more.
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
And if we could just do that every round, we'd be set. But I guess it wasn't meant to be because our Reyna happened to be one of the worst players I have ever seen in my life. Oh. So even though I dropped 28 kills, we still lost, so we didn't get a full time out of it. But at least we had splits for round 3, 6, and 9 to work with, so it wasn't a total loss. Now that we have a foundation, it was time to go all in. And let me preface this first by saying that me and my friends are like decent at the game at best. We all range from gold to diamond, and I peaked at plat 2, so we're not cracked by any means. We're just some dudes trying to have a good time. So to say that our strategy was to try to go against the worst players possible isn't us trying to do some weird flex, it's just us trying to see how fast it is to physically win a game of Valorant. And you didn't hear this from me, but whenever you make a new account, the people you play against are like not very good at all. Like when you play on a brand new account, you're going to be playing against people that made this their first game. And I mean like their first video game ever. Sage, buy heal. So part of our strategy was to play on new accounts to go against bad players. Does this make us bad people? I mean, probably. And the other strategy we had was to play aggressive characters like Reyna or Neon and push out every round so we could track down every player. Offense, defense, doesn't matter. Nothing was gonna stand in our way, except maybe the queue times. Yeah, as it turns out, there aren't a lot of other brand new accounts trying to 5-stack, and Valorant tries to put 5 stacks against other 5 stacks, so we were waiting a while.
Guys, what's your favorite type of sandwich?
Knuckle.
But we finally got into our first match with the whole team, and we ran through them.
Let me get one of these kills.
It's a speed run.
Charity.
The other team surrendered at about 5:22, making it our first and current any percent record. And we literally spent longer looking for that match than we spent in that match. The next match we got was Fracture, and I was really expecting this one to be slower. Firstly, because we were on defense, and it's a lot harder to control the pace of the game when you're on defense. Plus, if they plant a spike, you have to take the time to defuse it too. And secondly, because Fracture has so many points of entry. So trying to guess where the other team was coming from was like trying to guess what your girlfriend wants for dinner. But surprisingly, we got some good luck in this game as we all split up and were able to identify where the other team was, and we just collapsed on them. And then one of their teammates went AFK, which just means that's one less player to kill. And it makes the rounds go just that much faster. We got them to surrender at the earliest possible moment, giving us an incredible time of 3:26 and our fastest time yet. Our next match was on Haven, and I'd say we all played really well.
Woo!
Garage.
It's me, Jimmy Fallon, and I'm Jimmy Ballin.
Hey, last one.
We all turn around. Where is he? Let me have him. I'll catch him on this end.
There he is.
Let's go. We got to start on offense and even got them to surrender again on the earliest round. But our time was still a bit slower at 4:28, and this is probably because it's a 3-site map, so the enemy had to rotate further to get to the site that we pushed. Our plan was to push B as much as we could so they'd have a shorter distance to rotate, but that didn't stop them from running around in their spawn and wasting a bit of time. And at this point, we had 3 any percent runs completed, and we have not been able to get past round 5. So it seemed getting a full 100% run was going to be near impossible playing this way. So we devised a plan. What if we just lose a round? Just one round and give the other team just enough confidence that they think they could win because, well, they won that one round. It sounds stupid, I know. Stupid enough to work. Enter Bind. This was probably the best game to be handed to us on a silver platter. We lost the first round, barely. Oh, they did! Okay! Alright. We got a game. But it was enough to keep the other team invested, even after they lost a player. Or 2. We were all locked in, hitting our shots, and the other team constantly lost 1 or 2 players at a time, making every round go by quicker. And it even made us a little too cocky at times. Yeah, that's him. Luis, this is a speed run! Speed run! But somehow, some way, we were able to get through and win 13 rounds, giving us our first 100% time of 13:50, which is just crazy fast. The next game we got was Split, and once again, we tried our strategy. Lose 1 round, give them some confidence, and then go crazy. We started off 8 seconds faster than before, and then lost just a bit of time the next few rounds, but we were still 5 seconds ahead. And then suddenly 24 seconds ahead. This could be a new record already. And then somehow we ended 46 seconds behind, and I just couldn't figure out why. So I went back into the footage to check, and it turns out it's because I had hit the split a whole round early. So we should have actually been 25 seconds behind and not 25 seconds ahead. So really, we lost time throughout that whole match just because Split is a larger map and the other team didn't have 2 players who disconnected. So that's just unlucky. A lot of the next games were less eventful, but still a lot of fun. Game 6, we got Pearl defense, so this was already stacked against us in every way, since we kept just guessing the wrong site they were going to round after round.
Oh, they're B.
Of course they are.
Now they're B. Oh my goodness. And then Paul Blart called us weird. And although we weren't ahead of our time for the 100% run, the other team surrendered right before we got to win 13 rounds, so therefore it became an any percent run, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway because that time was horrendous. So we tried something new in order to counteract the surrendering, and we decided to do a few games in ranked, since people surrender way less there to try to save as much RR as they can. We got Icebox defense to start, which again slows us down a bit more, and with it being ranked, these players were a little bit better. Oh, I died. But hey, I got another ace, so that's cool. And our Viper completely biffed this jump. How did you miss jumping that?
I'm not taking any questions, Aaron. Don't put that in the video.
I'll put it in the video. I'm already typing it out. This match wasn't breaking any records, but it did end with a knife kill. And to mix things up even more, we tried to 3-stack instead of 5-stack to see if not going against another 5-stack would help. And we even got our 2 random teammates to agree on playing Duelists 2, so we could give it all that we got. And we're starting on attack. Everything was lining up. until someone disconnected. Wait, what the heck? But we gave it one more try. And I swear, you could not script this better. You would think with such an amazing previous time, having 5 friends playing together, being coordinated, and having the other team have so many DCs, there would be no way at this point you could get a faster time. And yet, somehow, with a couple of randoms and a bit of luck, we had our slowest time yet. But at least we still won. But yeah, you're probably not gonna break a record when you're playing with random people who have no idea that you're trying to break a record.
Ain't no way this works.
But that's where we stopped our attempts, and we had some good times, and we had a good time. See what I did there? It's a fun little pun. Our fastest any percent was 326, and our fastest 100% was 1350. And that's actually like really fast, all things considered. I don't think we'd try this again for a couple of reasons, mainly because pushing every round promotes bad gameplay, and believe it or not, it is more satisfying to play against tougher opponents. But if for some reason you and 4 friends are bored and need something to do, you now have some times to try to beat. If I had to give any advice or quick tips, it would be to try to avoid 3-site maps, capitalize on games that you start on offense, as those rounds can go a lot quicker, and just hope and pray that someone on their team DCs, because that's just free time save. And then maybe don't do this in ranked because people in ranked care way too much about their rank, but it's technically harmless if you just do it in some normal unrated matches. Unless you count the self-esteem of the other team, but it is just a game, play however you want. Anyways, that was a fun little experiment, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, you can leave a like to let me know that you liked it. And you can subscribe if you like silly, stupid little videos like this one. If you'd like to see more, you can check out this silly little video I made right here. It's from a long time ago where I played Valorant for 24 hours as a social experiment, though most Valorant addicts would probably just call that a typical Tuesday. And I don't recommend trying it, but I do recommend the video. But I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you have a good one. And don't tilt too hard in Valorant. Don't do it. Don't.